All right, so we're back here on another Overreaction Monday. Wow, week 7 of the NFL season.
It's flying, man.
I know, and I got my good partner here, Jeff. What's going on, Jeff?
Oh man, I'm having a good week. As you know, the Buckeyes came back. A bit of normalcy came back to my life. So yeah, had a little 3-day vacation. Watched the Buckeyes whip some butt. Yeah, so it's been good, man. It's been good. It's good to see you.
Yeah, and it was absolutely great to see you as well. And it was great just to have the Big Ten back where, and it added extra drama. And it's funny because I think one of my friends was like, it just doesn't feel like college football, without the Big Ten.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I mean, part of me because like it was some good matchups.
Oh yeah,
And,
yeah.
yeah.
Surprising, some good football. It was crazy. Like already, Ohio State was the highest rated game of the weekend.
Right.
They carried
Hey,
some weight, but.
hey, that's what happened. You're the brand. You're a
Yeah,
blue blood in college football.
it's nice to have the brands playing. Even the
Mhm.
Michigan Minnesota game was crazy. I'm not a huge Big Ten fan, but you're right. It just made it feel a bit normal.
Yeah, like in matter of fact, until allude to point and Mo checking in, and like I talked about on the Big Ten preview, and now I feel somewhat complete. Like as far as it's like one of the pieces of the puzzle is together,
For
and
sure.
it feels more complete. And I think once the Pac-12 comes
Yeah.
into play in November, like it's just
Theirs is I think
crazy.
with a 5-game schedule. That's going to be a little weird, but good for them. I hope they.
But yeah, but they'll play. I don't know if it's gonna be meaningful football, but it'll be football to say the least. So
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I mean,
right.
and anything can happen. I mean, let them. I wish they would expand the tournament for this situation. I don't think they're going to.
I know,
But
because that would be nice if they were to do that. Like and that's one things that we talked about on the preview where where it's more so you can incentivize like the first couple seeds so they get like bye weeks.
Yeah, I could figure out something in this odd year. Basically,
I know, right?
do whatever you can to get Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, Oregon. Get them in there, man. Get them playing.
Get the.
No, it was a lot of fun, man. It felt really good. Funny story. I watched it. We went camping, so I watched it on the app, which was cool. It came in fine, but we could only get the Spanish speaking version. I don't speak Spanish very well at all. I speak enough to hopefully get me out of the country if I get really, really lost, or to get to the bathroom. So it was actually wound up being pretty enjoyable. Like by about the second quarter, so we kind of settled in. The guys did a great job that were calling the game, and so that was the first time I'd ever listened to a Buckeyes game. And now you're kind of like me. Do I have to listen to every Buckeyes game in Spanish? I might. I mean, you don't want to break this up. So
right,
that was a new one, but we had a lot of fun. So it was pretty cool. And Olave sounds really good. Pronounced with the roll. I won't even embarrass myself by doing it. But yeah, it was a fun weekend, man. It was real good.
Yeah, and then definitely translated into the pros, man.
Oh,
so
yeah,
definitely. So, all right. Your biggest winner of week 7 of the NFL season.
I was this close to saying one, but I had to change it at about midnight last night. It's got to be Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. Way to go toe-to-toe with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, and an amazing game. Seize every opportunity they gave you and come out of that with a win, team win. Really impressive. Kyler never backed down.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with Arizona. I did not think they would win that game, and they deserved it. And boy, was that fun! And I like a game like that. That both teams, when they come away, I don't think either one of them's worse. Like I don't think Seattle's bad now because they lost, and I think Arizona might be a little better. So a lot of fun watching that one.
Yeah, and that was very interesting. I had them as my winner too because, I mean, it's funny, and shameless plug, but when we did see you Sunday, another exclusive on the Off the Ball Network.
Yeah, I saw that. It was real good.
And I kept on saying, that's why I had to really stick to my guns because remember I said this is the trap game for Seattle.
Oh yeah, I heard it.
And And I should have really just stuck to my guns and just caught and just should have been a lone wolf.
Yeah,
For
but I don't
picking
even know.
Arizona.
I don't even know if it was a trap game. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
Kyler took advantage of Seattle's defense. Finally, somebody did. I mean, Seattle's been walking a tightrope. Because of Russell Wilson playing so good, and their defense has made enough plays, and they got a little exposed last night. Here's what it boiled down to: Russ made one mistake, and they lose the game. Like he can't. He's got to play perfect, and I know that might be a problem going forward.
And that's what's fun. Like what was weird because I kept on saying they did get to Russell. I think they had 2 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
But then the beauty of it all, they forced 3 turnovers. They forced 3 interceptions by Russell.
And they
Wilson.
forced them too. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Right. And it's just like you look at that and then coupled with just Kyler Murray, what he's doing, and you're like, it's actually a great recipe. And they could be.
He's throwing a nice man. He throws a nice deep ball. He throws a lot like Russ. Like it looks like he's got that change up. He throws it super hard, but man, that thing drops in there right in the basket. What a great throw to Hopkins on the sideline. That's a play that I don't know if there's 2 guys in the league that can make that. Hopkins is without a doubt the best sideline receiver in the league. How about our boy DK Metcalf, man?
Man, he made the play.
We called him out in our preview. He has not been wrong. That guy is a straight up baller.
And shoot, if it weren't for that, this team they wouldn't have been in overtime.
Oh yeah, exactly. Honestly. Exactly.
That's another one where you sit there and you think to yourself like those type of plays, and like most time, most guys just give up because you're like, all right, Buda Baker, arguably one of the fastest guys in the NFL, and then you're like, let's let him go. Ain't no way of us chasing. And then it kind of remind me of remember, we'll date ourselves. Remember the wide receiver from Buffalo, what was it? I forgot what was his name. Don Beebe, yeah, Don Beebe. Yep, it kind of reminded me of that. And Leon Lett, yeah, it's something similar to that. But
hell yeah, that was great. It was a great play. Like I said, I like both teams. I wish they weren't in the same division. This is where this is the argument with you got the NFC East over there. No offense, I mean your team is back in it.
Yeah,
but then you got the NFC West, who somebody's going to get left out. And that's a shame because those 2 teams are really good. I mean, I can't wait for the second one. I cannot wait for the rematch. Love everything Murray's doing. Hey, Isaiah Simmons showed up, a rookie, making a huge play, and that's exactly what he went there for. We brought him up in our preview too. So who was a winner yesterday? It was us. Apparently, we came off.
Yeah,
really. But my second winner, I can't deny, man, Baker Mayfield. I know they beat the Bengals, but with 5 touchdowns. Game-winning touchdown. He's got his team on a roll. I'm hard on the guy when he has bad games and when he doesn't show up. So I got to give him credit. Yeah, he was the winning quarterback. If anybody else in the league does, if Russell Wilson has 5 touchdowns and wins that game with that throw, we're going crazy. So full respect to Baker Mayfield and what he's doing the whole season, maybe outside of game 1 with the Browns. So they got to feel good about where they're at. Apologize.
Yeah. And it's funny, and that's weird about Cleveland. Cleveland is such a weird spot because even at 4-2, we criticized them last week, and now at 5-2, they're and that's weird. Yeah, they're in it.
They're in as of now,
and then a star has emerged from a guy from your esteemed rival, and Donovan Peoples-Jones. He has. He has somewhat arrived in his NFL career with that game.
Yeah, I mean, and with OBJ being down, I mean, that's and once I don't know if you had this in your order, but I just want to recognize that we said this a few weeks ago that Mayfield looks so much better when he doesn't have to worry about OBJ. I'm not saying it's anything OBJ does, but there's a connection there that messes it up because when he's not on the field, Baker is a better football player. So I don't know what that means for either one of them. Maybe it could be, I don't know whose fault it is. It doesn't matter, but I know Baker plays better when OBJ is not on the field. And I don't understand why, but it's the truth. The fact.
And a lot of people are saying what it is Stefanski's, they think Stefanski is kind of like forcing it into Odell, which
that's what I think it is.
And that could be a potential because I think Keyshawn was saying like how it could be a situation where in all plays that they have, they try to implement Odell in some form of fashion. Like he's, in the different types of play calling, it could be a situation where they say, hey, well, we got 20 plays, just as an example, Odell's in all of them versus
they're
interchangeable parts.
Too worried about a number one receiver. We see it happen all the time. It happened years ago with Terrell Owens. That was always a problem. Trying to, force the ball. That was back when you kind of had more number one receivers. I don't believe in the number one receiver anymore, and I think that's exactly why. I think you're seeing – I watched Seattle, who you got Tyler Lockett out there, who, looks like a superstar. And then you got Metcalf. Like, you got to have duos. You got to have groups of receivers. You got to have mismatches. It is not about having a number one receiver and forcing the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, Mayfield, 22 for 28, 297, 5 touchdowns. I mean, that's a pro game. That is a efficient pro game. So I think he feels pretty good about where he's at today.
Yeah. Think about it. That's pretty good. And then even with Joe Burrow, even in a losing, losing, 406 or 9 yards? 406
yards. 400 yards. And
he had over 400 yards. And then, of course, Steven being devil's advocate saying, well, they always beat the Bengals. True.
Well, not always. That's not true. Yeah.
As of late,
Just really late, though.
Yeah.
Really late. Like
not during not during the Andy Dalton regime.
Browns didn't beat anybody 3 years ago or 4 years ago. Like, let's another real quick winner had the over the hill gang. Roethlisberger, Brady, Drew Brees, all leading their teams to good records. Brady looks better than ever. Roethlisberger looks wonderful. The old guys are holding it down. We just talk about the young guys. We talk about Murray. We talk about Mayfield. We talk about Burrow. And there's the veterans. Their uncles are still playing. So quite a day for the over the hill gang.
And they're balling, and it's crazy. Like when you look at going to Steve's point, where they're still undefeated, and that's like you said, and that's another one where they had that double-digit lead. Tennessee comes back.
Yeah.
And then it's so weird because Steven Krakowski in the beginning, like the first couple of games, he bailed Tennessee out like big time. I think especially like that Monday night game, the first game of the season. And then he missed the field goal. I was like, oh man.
But Tannehill can't take that grounding call. There's so many, I mean, there's a lot of different things he could have done, and that hurt. But I mean, Tennessee fought back. I was kind of dug in about their defense and defended a little bit. I do believe it is more of a weakness than I gave them credit for. Steelers look really, really good. I don't know what the formula is to beat them right now. That defense is flying around. They play Baltimore this week, so I'm a Baltimore fan. So it's going to be an interesting Sunday. I can tell you that Sunday at 1.
Yeah, most definitely. And also see. Shout out to Steven, man. He says, "So hey, you got to be number one."
Yep. Maybe. I don't want to give my rankings away. Well, here's the thing: my rankings aren't quite done yet because I always wait for the end of the Monday night game. Especially tonight, there's 2 good teams playing. We're recording this on Monday. It's Overaction Monday.
Yeah.
The Bears and Rams play, so they're not going to jump to number 1. I do have a number 1 right now. And it is a new number 1. Seattle went down this week, so I appreciate the shout out, Steven. My power rankings will be out sometime tonight or early tomorrow morning, and everybody can yell at me. I get more flack. I get more flack for the graphics and the logos of my power rankings than I do the order.
Hey,
so what I'm really close is I want to compare mine because the NFL networks come out tomorrow, so I want to get mine out first, and I just want to see how close they are. Because I took some flack 2 weeks ago for New England. I had New England 17. That was 2 weeks ago, and they've got throttled 2 weeks in a row. Ooh. So maybe Jeff knows. Maybe Jeff doesn't just need sports. Maybe Jeff knows sports. Maybe I'll change the name of my show.
Right.
But
so
shout out, Steve.
And also to you, we're not trying to sway you in a certain way when it comes to your power rankings.
Can't be.
Will my beloved Washington football team rise from 30? Will we be in the 20s?
they took a big step forward because once again, when I rate teams based on also their position, like we talked about it before the show, you can't just base everything on head to head because you'll never get anywhere. So I do give credit to where you're at. I don't want to. You can't punish a team. The fact of the matter is the entire NFC East has a better chance of making the playoffs than say the Raiders, who have a better record. So I do factor that in. So, yeah, I was proud of Washington this week. So they're slowly climbing out of the dungeon.
Right. That's all, just a little slight dig.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One rung at a time, man. One rung at a time.
Absolutely. And yeah, definitely another great point. Like they're going to do all they can for Brady to have a Super Bowl. And it's in Tampa Bay, which is coincidentally.
Oh, it's great. Yeah,
I'm telling you, and that's going to add to the folklore. If he does make it,
he's got a good chance.
Yeah, and then you think about now you bringing in Antonio Brown. What, in 2 weeks?
Yeah, if he can keep. It'll be I really think it all hinges. If this defense is it's the kind of the defense that I saw last year with these guys running around. Their linebacking core is so good and so fast, and the path through the NFC. We've seen the chinks in the armor, Seattle. You can get to Green Bay. It's going to be a matchup for Brady, but if they line up, I don't see any reason why they can't make it to the Super Bowl the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, and that would just add to the legend.
Oh, gee, the love just close the book. I mean, it's written. If this guy pulls this off, that's it. It's done.
Right.
Yeah. We thought that. We just said this about LeBron, and everybody still hates him. Like nothing. He doesn't change anything. LeBron just did it.
Right. But yeah, hope the chance in the top 30. Well, your boy Daniel Jones would have completed. He 10 yards short. He 8 yards short of shorter than that ranking. Yeah. But yeah. So we got another guest. We got our guy come in. We won't get ready to cue him in. Right. Yeah, we got our guy Steven.
Oh, right.
Breaking game part. Fresh off breaking the game.
Yeah, I just finished up watching breaking the game.
Fresh off breaking the game.
Busy guy, man.
And we gonna get him in.
What's up, fellas?
What up? What's going on, man?
Steven?
What's up, Steven?
I wanted to pop in real quick.
Yes, sir.
Jeff, dude, you're an oak, man. You're no one can sway you on your standings, and I think that's incredible, brother.
Maybe Kyler Murray. He's got me rethinking.
Dude, I was remember, Coach. I was saying, man, like I really felt like that was going to be like a Jamal Murray versus Donovan Mitchell matchup that night.
Yeah,
man.
Good call.
Yeah, like a shootout. Yeah, it ended up being that.
Yeah, that was a fantastic game. I loved the kid. Had a lot of fun watching that one.
For
sure.
It's amazing the way he plays. I mean, everybody wants to compare. If you got to start comparing people, everybody wants to compare Mahomes and Steph Curry, and I see it. But as far as I don't understand how this guy's doing it. It's really Kyler Murray reminds me more of a Steph Curry. Like, how is this guy out there holding it down? He just doesn't look the same as everybody else, and it's just amazing what he does. I mean, he's
definitely littler.
Oh yeah, he's just a baller. He's just a straight up baller. Good for them for having the guts to pick him number one, and good coach. He's got that's a perfect coach combination right there.
Yep.
Yeah, he could go a lot of teams and get I don't know if he could play for Vrabel or a guy like that, but he's perfect in Arizona. Perfect.
Yep.
I'd like to get a home playoff game.
But yeah, I think definitely it's a great marriage between those two. So
yeah, it's perfect.
Big time, and I definitely see that going forward. And I think was it you, Steven, that said the other day where you can see him being like MVP one of these days?
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, it was against Dallas when I said this, when I made the proclamation, right? But I was like, man, I could definitely see he's got the speed, he's got the vision, he's got the arm. Like
he's done it 2 in a row too.
I mean, Seattle again, just for fair credit, like that defense isn't like one of the best in the NFL right now. Like we think Seattle and we automatically think defense with, the Legion of Boom and stuff like that. But
They're
I
gone.
believe Seattle led the NFL in yards given up per game this year. So that's what kind of made me feel a little confident about Murray having a good game, especially with Hopkins. He had a bad game against Dallas when they won that game. But man, Hopkins, if we're talking about guys that stepped up, I mean, and winners and Kyle, I mean,
yeah,
Hopkins was definitely up there too.
Oh yeah, the whole team.
Yeah, and that's just a very interesting dynamic going forward with this team. So definitely, let's get some comments in here. Definitely huge shout out to my cousin. Shout out to my cousin. Congratulations to the football team.
Hey,
even though he's a
team.
Cowboys fan, that's big time. You know, a rival wishing, congratulating us on a victory that's monumental.
Good for him.
Family over football.
Absolutely.
I met all kinds of family tonight. Steven's father, he checked in earlier on Steven.
Dude, that was so cool. He never does that.
That was awesome, man. Now I get to meet. Wait, my mom's on here tonight watching the show.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom.
It's a family affair here on Overreaction Monday. We definitely appreciate.
It's the greatest show. It's absolutely the greatest live show going right now.
That's what we do. That's what we try to give the people. We giving everybody what they want.
Give the people what they want.
Absolutely, especially on a Victory Monday.
Yeah,
take a lap.
Yes, absolutely. It's a Victory Monday.
On a Victory Monday.
Round of applause for the football team there.
Yes. Absolutely.
Hey, I like seeing McLaurin. I like seeing him getting it done. That makes me feel good.
That's a good question. I know you probably take cat naps.
I mean, I sleep at night. You know, I mean, it's only 7:30 here on the lovely East Coast. So I mean, it's not like I'm staying up super late.
Because when you was in the West Coast, you were getting up before we were. We were like,
yeah, he was.
That's the military in me. When y'all are like, be here at this time, I'm like, all right, I got to be 15 minutes early.
Yeah.
I swear, every time, ever since I met you, I'm telling you, I'm like, I don't like if I get up early, I get up and start doing something. Normally, what I would do if I get up like 5 o'clock or whatever, I lay in that bed about 7, 8 o'clock. I don't do that no more. Like, no, ain't no excuse. Get on up. If you up and you ain't, you somewhat rested, get on up and get something doing. Do something.
Yeah, I get about 6-7 hours of sleep a night.
Oh, that's plenty.
I do all right.
That's a bountiful rest.
Yeah,
I feel like that's probably average. I mean, right? Like people usually get about 6 hours of sleep, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, generally.
Yeah.
The average.
I appreciate you checking in, though, Prez. I mean, appreciate you being concerned. I'm all right.
Absolutely, definitely want to check on your sleeping patterns, sir.
Hey, man.
They always say that you the one making the donuts. Yeah. Early making the donuts for the crew.
Yep.
But yeah, man. So, fellas, we talked about the glorious wins of this week and our personal opinions. So, guys, we got to go into the bad part of the show.
Oof.
Our biggest losers.
I mean, I got to. There's a real easy one. There's two real easy ones out there. I'll take the first one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cam Newton and the Patriots. Like that's a bad beat. Coming off of last week when it was he was on my list last week too. I wasn't on the show, but he was on my list. And then, to come on and to just play they look like there's no game plan. It looks like he can't make the throws. I don't know if he wants to make the throws. We go to the body language thing, which I hate. I hate to be that guy, but man, you can't deny, just what it looks like on the field to get thumped like 49ers are running it up. A 49ers team that just got trounced by the Dolphins 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's off of a big win against my team, though. So I mean,
that's true. I think they're a good team, but I mean, they're not that good. New England. Well, I mean, I forget what the stat was. New England hadn't got beat like that in a long time, basically. That's the same team that Brady was playing with. Edel, and you know what? Here's another quick one. Okay, Edelman. I'm over you slamming the. I think it's the Surface Pro that they use to look at their plays and stuff on the sidelines. I'm kind of over that. I know you got that from Tom, but y'all breaking Surface Pros like You know what I mean? Like donate those or something. That's ridiculous. You're a receiver. First of all, what are you looking at? You guys scored 3 points. You know what I mean? Like everything on it, but you don't be slamming Surface Pros around. You know what I mean?
And you're the vet on that team too.
Right.
Yeah. No. He's not coddled anymore. You know, he's not showcased anymore. So he's being exposed when he plays with an average quarterback. Don't be slamming Surface Pros. Donate that. Give that to somebody.
Right.
Give me a Surface Pro.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. There are tons of needy individuals that need that, especially in 2020 where there's a shortage of, technology devices of that sort.
Shame on you, Edelman. Shame on you.
Just give it to us, Yeah,
man.
And also, and a guy who I think who would probably will want one as well. Our Chris LeBron on Off the Ball Network and Off the Ball Podcast. He's here. I know you want a Surface Pro as well.
He's got kids. Look at him.
Yeah,
I do want one. I definitely do want one. I mean, what's the point of doing all that stuff? We're throwing all that.
Throwing them around.
I don't know. That's your team, bro.
I don't claim them no more. TV's not there no more, so they look off. The defense is bad.
Yeah,
like Cam, obviously.
So many people opted out too.
Yeah, I mean the defense, like everyone opted out except for Gilmore, and they lost Hightower, Chung, they lost a lot of guys, but it's usually Belichick usually gets rid of guys usually a year early, right before they fall off. It feels like with Tom, he made should have wait. Tom did it the other way. He left Belichick a year early. It's usually not the case, and you see Brady, he's starting to get confident, right? Because obviously no off season, right? You didn't get an off season, so like in the beginning you see which most teams, right? We see a lot of teams, a lot of teams are off and with no training camp and all that, no preseason. But now he's starting to feel it. I think 5 touchdowns in 2 straight games. He's starting to cook it. They look, and they just added Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown to add to that,
Well, he made sure that they didn't have a quarterback too for their troubles,
Yeah.
He made sure that there wasn't a plan B.
Yeah. But Tampa Bay is cooking right now, and Ronald Jones is running the ball well. The offensive line's playing well. Defense makes some plays. That Winfield son, Anton Winfield Jr.
Big plays.
That's a player right there. That's a player right there. So they got some talent there. They got talent.
But yeah, it's a trip though. So Steven, who's your biggest loser?
Well, I'm gonna jump on the Washington football team bandwagon. I'm gonna say the Dallas Cowboys biggest loser, and it's not that I was going into the game. I mean, I did pick them to win, so I mean, I'll eat a little bit of crow right here. I did pick Dallas to win, but that's not the reason why I say that they're the biggest loser. I mean, it's just adding on to what has already been an abysmal season by them. There's already rumors that McCarthy is done, which again, like, nobody wanted this guy, and this is the coach that Jerry was like is gonna coach us into the playoffs and Super Bowl. Like, nobody wanted him, like nobody hired him, so this was your answer, right? And all the speculation about Lincoln Riley and all that, like we can go on and on about that, but not only losing to Washington, but getting the break speed off of them by Washington.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
You only put up a field goal against Washington, and Washington's defense is a lot stronger than I think people give them credit for, especially myself. I'm starting to, wake up a little bit to that, but they're also not like a world beater defense either, if that makes sense. Like, they're probably about league average defense, which is pretty good considering, where they are in building a program, right? So
they just lost Landon Collins too. He tore his Achilles, that's a big loss.
Yeah. But still, only put up a field goal against Washington, like that's huge. And you lost Andy Dalton, who everyone was like, when Dak got hurt, I saw so many people saying like, oh, this is exactly why they signed Andy Dalton. He's going to be able to do the exact same thing for this team. And, Dak Prescott's over there drinking his tea, looking out the window, minding his own business and saying, thanks for earning me that money. And then for Andy Dalton to get just caught clean by Bostic, and then everyone on Dallas was like, oh, that sucks.
Nobody
You know,
that
like
was horrible.
so that
But
was a moral defeat within
They're
that
in big
defeat.
trouble.
Honestly, they might be the worst team in the division, especially with no quarterback.
They got a $50 million running back. You could care less.
Like,
I guarantee you, Jerry has already called Romo and was like, "Hey, buddy, can we interest you to come back and play for a year?"
You know what? He might honestly, Jerry. He might be thinking like, "Hey, we might just have to kibosh this season and get one of these quarterbacks coming out, Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence or
Don't
Lance."
you ever say that?
He might. It might have to be that because
he should right now.
It saves you from paying Dak because Dak is going to get you're going to have to pay him, right?
Dak ain't going back to the Cowboys either. He's going to
make going back to the Cowboys.
He gave him a shot
with a franchise tag. He wants long term, so they might just be like, he might just, they might just be like, all right, let's just this season's, but it's so hard because the division's so bad that even if you try to lose, the Giants are there and the Eagles are,
you can't if you do, damned if you don't, right?
Yeah, it's like, it's a horrible. I mean, I think it's the first time in like NFL history where like after like in the first 7 weeks a team is not even at 3 wins. Like no one has 3 wins. Like that's pathetic. Like, and it's crazy, right? Washington went from looking awful, right? They lose to the Giants a few weeks ago, like they're the worst team in the division, and then just like that, boom, they might be the best team in the division.
I know a team that knows how to do it right. The Atlanta Falcons have figured out how to score, how to score game-losing touchdowns.
Jelani,
there we go. Right on
cue. And we gotta uplift Jelani because Lord have mercy. Oh Lord, when I seen that, and coincidentally during that game, well, it's funny because after we blew out Dallas, they showed this game, and I was like, and Todd Gurley scored. I was like, oh Lord, if this ain't Penn State, Indiana all over again.
Yep. Here's the saddest part is that Gurley was upset when he scored, even with under 2 minutes left, because he knew he was going to lose. If you look at his face when he comes off the field, he's like, yeah, we're done.
Yep.
It wasn't like he was like, we're still all right. Nope. He knew. That was the worst part of it, man.
Yeah, I know, right? And that's
what do they have to do though? Like it's ever since the Super Bowl, it has not been right in Atlanta. It is just, and that's why you have to capitalize, right? Because you just never know when you can get back there, right?
Right.
It's you have to take advantage of being up 28-3, finish starting off, win Super Bowl, because you just never know when you can get back.
You never know.
And look, they've fallen off a cliff. Like
it's crazy. Jacksonville Jaguars, same thing.
Jacksonville too, but especially in Atlanta, where they literally were like they had the Super Bowl in their back pocket,
in their hand.
They were sizing up their rings, in the third quarter.
They could have kneeled on the ball and had a better chance.
That's a whole other show. We could talk hours about that football game, and that was 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yep, that's true. Yeah. All right, Coach, we got sidetracked there, buddy.
Yeah. So, Chris, who was your biggest loser this week?
I'm going with my team, and it may be because it's my team, but it's just it's like, all right, I go into the game, you're feeling good, like, all right, I think this is the game we can get a nice little streak going. Maybe hey, do you see how bad this division is? Hey, you never know, right? Could win a couple games, and
the same thing right now today, though, just so
offense. The offense, Daniel, other than Daniel Jones' 80-yard run where it should have been longer and a touchdown, right? He's still running for his life. The offensive line's not there. The running game is non-existent, right? And then Evan Ingram. Don't get me started with Evan Ingram. He has been, to me, one of the most disappointing players, this season, period. Like, this is a guy that's, wants to get a contract, right? Wants to get an extension, right? He hasn't shown it, right? He drops that big play, right, which kind of cost us the game, right? Correct. He gets that's in your like Chris Carter says, if it's in your hand, you got to catch that ball. I don't care how it may have been a little off, but you got to catch that football, right? If you want to make big time plays, make big time plays.
Correct.
And I just knew once the Eagles scored and they cut the deficit down to top, I'm like, Giants are gonna blow this game. It happened. The same thing happened last year. Same thing happened the year before. Every time we go to Philly, this happens, and it's the same story. And the book always ends the same way, and it's just disappointing because Daniel Jones still I don't know, it's still like I want him to be the guy, but he's still not there. And what's crazy, right? When we did our going into the season projections about teams, all right. When I talked about the Giants, it was like our defense is going to struggle mightily, right? I thought the defense was going to be awful, worst defense in the league, and the offense would be, top 12, top 13. I thought it was that capable of being that, maybe a top 10 offense. It's the other way around. The defense is actually pretty good, right? The front, Dexter Lawrence is playing good. Leonard Williams, he's playing well. Tomlinson from Alabama, he's playing well. Blake Martinez is tackling everyone. Bradbury has an interception in the last 4 games. Like he's doing great, and the offense is just it just doesn't know what they're doing. And then we see the video of Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley after partying with no mask on. It's like, oh, this team's a disaster. This team is an utter disaster, and it just, I just have no hope for this team anymore. Like I had going, I'm like, oh, maybe we could get a little win streak, and then I don't know.
They're only 1 game out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's still.
Crazy. We're 1 game out from being in first place, and then 1 game out from being the number one, having the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
I wanted the Jets to lose too. Like, come on, but it's tough. This offense is not good. But to me, they're the biggest loser. Evan Ingram to me is the biggest loser, especially because he has not played well. I mean, he's getting 8 catches for like 14 yards. Like what are you doing, bro? Like run. And it's crazy if you watch the last play where before Jones gets sacks and loses the ball. Jones is dropping back, and he looks right at Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram is wide open, probably like 5 yards down the field, and he literally just stares at him for like 2 seconds and just says, "Nah, I'll take the sack." It's just that's when that happens to you as a receiver, that's how you know the quarterback has lost all confidence in you. So to me, Giants and Evan Ingram, biggest losers.
That's like being wide open on the 3-point line, and the guy with the ball is like, "I'm just gonna try to do a little floater or something."
Exactly. Right?
Yeah. I think mine is obvious. I think Dallas. I think just the fact that to lose in that kind of fashion and to give up 25 points on the 30th ranked offense in the NFL. Antonio Gibson had 124 yards.
He's good. He's gonna be a good one.
128 points, right?
He's gonna be a good one.
Oh, he's gonna be good, but that's to let you know, like in that line's been struggling, and just man, it's just they just.
Has he had another game like? Has he had a game like that all season?
No, this is it's season high. Well, his career high, really, because he's a rookie. But
right.
Yeah, and that run defense is just that defense is just horrible.
Couch. Let me ask you about McLaurin quick.
Yeah,
he's special.
Oh yes,
he is scary.
Yes, he will. Yeah,
like if once he gets consistent quarterback, I'm sure you're thinking in your head, being a fan, like if he gets consistent quarterback play, this dude can be a top 5 receiver. And I'm not just saying it, like he has the ability to be a top 5 wide, like 90 catches, 1,400 yards, 10 plus touchdowns, time to receive. He's just that good.
Yeah, because even in the connections that he's had, even in the short period, he had Case Keenum who was throwing the ball.
Exactly. He's doing it with bad quarterback play.
Right. And that's like, and I forget,
it's 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's had 4 quarterbacks. Just imagine once, like you said, if he gets a legitimate quarterback and he's there for at least a year, and just the continuity that they can have with each other, like
happened with DeAndre Hopkins. Is always one of the best receivers in the NFL.
When you're a good receiver, when no matter who's behind at center, you can make plays. And to me, Terry McLaurin is that, like, he did it last year, right? As a rookie, you're like, okay. And then this year, he's like, people thought, he may not have a good year because the quarterback play is not there. And then
Ron Rivera is the head coach,
and defensive-minded head coach, but it's like, no, Rivera's like, get that man the ball, get him the football, like he's a game break. He's special. He's going to be really good,
right? And even Dwayne was throwing it to him, and it was looking good.
Remember him?
But right. I mean, it's like a
Dwayne Johnson.
Right. But that's another story. I feel bad.
That's a whole nother show right there. And
right.
That's crazy.
So, fellas, the best part of the show we have here is everybody's overreaction. So I'm gonna go around the horn. Jeff, your biggest overreactions for week 7.
The Cowboys may not win another game. We kind of covered that. Tom Brady, this might be Tom Brady's best year. As of now, he's on pace to reach his 2007 numbers. This could absolutely be Tom Brady's best year as a player at 43. And the Browns are making the playoffs.
Fair enough.
That's
Chris.
wow. Yeah, I got him. I got my co-host with me. Yeah. Oh man, the Tom Brady thing is definitely so. I mean, he's rolling right now, so that makes me happy that you said that, Jeff. It makes me happy.
I was gonna say I knew it was coming.
It's true.
My overreaction. I mean, I still think the Seahawks are the best team in the NFC. I still think they're the best team in the NFC. Them and Tampa to me are to me those are the two best teams. But I still think Seattle's makeup. I still trust Russell Wilson. I mean, he didn't. He made some mistakes that aren't up to par like with him. Like it's very uncharacteristic to throw 3 interceptions and all that. But
it's a free game.
He didn't. But I still believe the Seahawks. I trust him. To me, I still trust him. He's still, to me, a dynamic quarterback. And I think also Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is just for real too. I think Tampa Bay's for real, and they're going to scare some teams. And like I said, we said before, again, Antonio Brown. Just imagine that. Like you have to guard, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown. Gronk is getting back, right? You see Gronk's moving better now, right? Right? And then they got Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette in the back, so they could beat you up. Like
good luck.
They have power forwards playing, like, and the line is playing better. That's scary.
Defense is getting better.
And the defense is getting to the quarterback. They're creating havoc. Like you said, the secondary, which is one of their weaknesses, with a rookie back there, is improving.
Making plays.
I mean, Tampa Bay is a scary team, but I still think Seattle is the best team in the NFC. I still think I trust Russ. It's just hard to not trust. I know he made some mistakes, and that game could have went either way anyway, right? Field goals here, missed in there. It was a crazy game, game. The DK play, there's a lot of craziness. They almost won the game if the other that guy Moore doesn't set the pick on DK when he almost had the.
That was kind of a bang play, like.
Bang. I'm saying if he just a little like if he just. Stops a little bit, DK because DK's an absolute beast. I mean, I was so wrong about DK Metcalf because I thought he can't run routes. He's just going to be another big dude, but I'm sorry. I was wrong about him. But yeah, those are just some things. And it's, that was a crazy game though.
Correct. Yep.
That was a crazy game last night. But yeah, I still believe in Seattle though. That's still, I still have them going to the Super Bowl. I'm not going to get off that. And so
Steven, your overreactions for week 7.
I got a couple. Starting with my lowest hanging fruit, number 3, Dallas is going to be in the market for a quarterback before the trade deadline. They're going to make a move and get a quarterback. I don't think that they're going to stick with Don. I think McCarthy is realizing that he's coaching for his job this year. And,
I think you got to get that whoever's the fire alarm.
Yeah, y'all can continue. Let's see what's going on.
Oh man,
the open house doesn't go up in flames.
Things you only get on live TV.
I know, right? This is the power of live TV.
Right. Do we keep going?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's hope everything's good.
Prayers up for coach.
Bad battery, right?
Man.
Sometimes it's a bad battery. Like the battery's acting.
Yeah, typically it is.
Yeah. So Dallas gets
I don't want to laugh because it could be upstairs, but it's I don't see smoke.
It's a nervous laugh. When I get nervous, I can't help but laugh. So yeah, Dallas is in the market for a quarterback.
Yeah, they're dead. Like I don't even know who that quarterback who came in was.
But you guys never go for it. You don't think they'll tank? I mean,
I don't think they'll tank because the coach. unless Jerry's like, McCarthy, you're fired and we're tanking, or I mean, McCarthy's got to do something to save his job. He may never coach in the NFL again after this year, so he's got to do whatever he can
he'll be an offensive coordinator. He definitely won't be a head coach no more if he tanks this. Like this is, I thought he would do a solid job, but when you lose Dak, losing Dak is change that whole team. Like, it was the way he got hurt, and to me that just deflated the whole team.
They were hanging on by a thread.
They just haven't been the same.
Well, he was playing out of his mind to hold them together.
He was playing at an MVP level.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go.
The couch is good, right? We good?
Yes.
Everything good?
Yes, crack supported. Yeah.
I told you.
You know what?
It was the battery.
Daylight savings time. It's Sunday, so early.
By the way, Coach, that's a good-looking chair, man. I am jealous of that
chair. Beautiful chair.
Yeah,
nice.
That's where you get That's where you get those good vibes from, man.
Right.
You can't be upset in a chair like that.
You're right. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So I just said Dallas getting a quarterback, and then we just kind of nervously laughed about the situation that was going. I think Justin Herbert is going to finish better, have a better finish, like overall season compared to Joe Burrow, especially after how he played against Jacksonville. And I can't take full credit for this because my co-host Austin put on the group chat earlier that he thinks that he's going to be the better of the quarterbacks overall. But I think, overall, like career-wise, which I don't know about that. That might be a little bit
over Burrow.
Yeah, over Burrow. He might be in a better situation though.
That's an overreaction.
I'm
not saying it's wrong, but that's an overreaction.
I'll say this: Herbert is more physically gifted than Burrow.
Oh yeah,
he's in a better situation too. Like team, like offense, defense. Like
I don't know.
The offense in Cincinnati, he has weapons. He definitely got some weapons.
So he's got some young guys. I acknowledge that, but I mean, like the guys that to be fair, Herbert has some great weapons as well.
Oh no, I mean Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry. I mean he's got some, and he doesn't have an Eckler right now, so the run game's not existent right now.
Correct. Yep. And so I think he'll probably have a better rookie year. He may even take offensive rookie of the year.
And just to think how he got the job too, like the doctor's error on Tyra Taylor, like. Right. Tyra. It seems like stuff like that happens to Tyra. Like weird things happen to Tyra like that, where he loses his job because of just weird circumstances, right?
I was actually writing a story on him for the website when that happened, and it blew up my whole story. It was a Tyrod Taylor crazy career story, and then that happened. I'm like, well, now I got to start over. So I never got.
And then last one, just to piggyback off of the momentum that I established last week. Pittsburgh Steelers are representing the AFC in the Super Bowl this year.
Man, that's
a tough. I'm not going to fight over that one.
They got a good football team.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is the best in the league,
and they are without a starting linebacker.
Yeah, and they lost the Bush to an ACL. That sucks. That's unfortunate. Too many ACL injuries, man. We lost Odell. That's unfortunate. He tore his ACL.
There's got to be some sports science behind it with the time off, the limited practice, and
that has to correlate with each other. It has to just. It's something more like that.
More of it. You have more of tightly wound athletes than you've ever had in the NFL. They're more sprinters than they are wrestlers anymore. So you used to have guys going faster and build a little tighter and
right.
That's one theory.
Yeah, potentially. So I got a couple overreactions. So the first one, the Patriots are done. Julian Edelman, if you're looking at us, blink twice. We'll try to find you. We'll try to rescue you.
Minimum.
Hit us up on the surface, Julian. Oh wait, you broke your.
He broke.
I'm pretty sure he's got alternate names.
That's a great tablet too. Like that's like a dream tablet, like a dream item to have, right? And
throw them around like you don't
throw them around like it's nothing, right? Like it's like it's a 4-year-old throwing on a tablet, you know.
I mean, it's good enough for the NFL, you know.
Right, exactly. So, Cam Newton is done. I think.
I hate that.
I hate that.
That was fun for like a few weeks for him, you know.
Yeah, right.
That was fun. That was cute.
He's done. Like I mean, if he might get another opportunity, but it's gonna be pennies on a dollar again. He's not gonna get what we thought he was going to get if he would have had a successful season. It's going to be pennies on the dollar.
How do they approach the offseason? How do you think they go after, or are they looking to see if give Cam another year, or do they go in the market for a quarterback for one of the trade up and try to get a quarterback? They have listen. They've been so blessed to have a quarterback for 20 years, right? Where they never have to think about this situation, right? They've dabbled in we'll take Jimmy in the second round, Ryan Mallett, Brian Hoyer. They drafted guys, but they've had their Kai for 20 years. Now it's different. See, this is why the whole Belichick is he the greatest. Like now we're going to see, this is the true test the next few years to see how really good he is, right? Because he's going to have, this is the biggest offseason he's probably ever had, because now it's like, do we rebuild or do we, we try Cam another? Do we try go for another veteran quarterback on the market? Which right now
they're gonna have to pay the quarterback too, which they've never really had to do because Brady always took those discounts to load up the roster.
Quarterbacks to do what Brady did. Like no other quarterbacks.
Not everybody's married to the most famous model ever.
Right? So it's gonna be a tough offseason for them.
It's funny that you bring that up. So now there's rumblings in San Francisco that hey, the Jimmy Garoppolo marriage isn't quote unquote how it seemed to be. I'm like Jimmy G might be going back to England, and I'm assuming it's not going to take much to get him at this point.
Yeah, you can get him cheap. You could probably get him for a third round, maybe a second round. You're not going to pay him. He's too much injuries and all that.
Do the Patriots are they in the market to trade draft picks now because that roster is pretty skimpy?
They don't have a good roster. They don't, and they might trade Gilmore.
They get rid of their draft picks.
I don't know if you guys heard is Gilmore is on the market.
Wow.
Yeah, so they might just throw this thing up a little bit. I don't know.
And the thing with them, and they probably get a nice little bounty for Stephon Gilmore. Hell, if Jamal Adams gets the first round pick,
they can get a one for him.
And they could probably get a 21 and a 22. Hell, if Jamal Adams got one,
But Belichick hasn't drafted that good. Let's face it, he has not. Listen, he took N'Keal Harry where there's A.J. Brown, Metcalf, Terry McLaurin. Look at all Debo Samuel. Look at all the guys he passed up on. Even when I was watching the draft, I'm like, wait,
there are a lot of people that were high on Harry, though,
and not that high. Like all those other guys I mentioned were above N'Keal. Like he's talented, but he's been banged up, and he doesn't fit the Patriots style. To me, that's another. It wasn't never a good fit. Like Debo Samuel's a better fit.
Too tall.
It's just weird. He just doesn't that type of receiver doesn't fit with them. But they haven't drafted well. He, like I said, he benefited off 12 for a lot of years, and now you don't have 12 no more. So he's gonna have to show.
You don't have 10 anymore, so you're stuck with one.
Yeah, you're stuck with. So they got to figure things out in New England because it's the Dolphins are coming, the Bills are coming. We don't have to talk about the other team because they don't count. But I shouldn't. My bad. I shouldn't talk. My team stinks too, but that team makes my team look like a Super Bowl contender. So,
you got to step on someone's head to stay afloat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes me feel good, especially living in New York, that they stink. And, my team stinks, but they really stink. But the Dolphins are coming. It's interesting to see what Tua coming, this week. I'm interested to see that.
And 2 seconds in their
Bills, draft chat. It's the Patriots. It's shaky grounds in the next few years for them.
Hey, all those fans that enjoyed that time, they're gonna remember what they were like in the '90s and the '80s.
Remember Week 1 when they when the Bucks lost and the Patriots won and everyone was like, oh look, Belichick made the right decision.
Overreaction Monday.
Overreaction Monday, boom! Right. And guess what? I guess it changes just like that.
Yeah, and that's how everybody was like, "Well, the marriage is like no, like dude, it's one game."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
And they played the Saints, a good football team, right? They lost to a good football team.
And now 6 weeks
team
later,
that was predicted to still beat the Bucks as far as standings go in the NFC South. Like a lot of people, including myself, like the Saints over the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did too because I had them being the wild card team.
Mm-hmm.
That 7th final slot was Tampa Bay because I think All right, I'm embarrassed now because I had Atlanta winning.
I had Atlanta winning some games too.
You know,
Now.
but it's not too crazy though. I mean, there's a lot of people who thought they have the talent, right? So you look at the roster, right? Just
They
look at
made
the
the
roster.
moves.
They have a solid offensive line, solid running back, like obviously an MVP type quarterback, receivers.
Drafted
So
decent.
You know, but they just I don't know. They're the weirdest team in the NFL.
Right, and they had them
I would
11
agree with that.
so that's not gonna happen.
They're the Houston Rockets in
Houston.
the NFL.
Houston,
Even weirder than that. Like
Yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
weirder than that.
I
Like,
think Houston Texans are the oddest team in the NFL.
Oh,
I feel bad for Watson, man. He runs for his damn life.
He needs out. Everybody's asking out of places now. They need to get Watson. They need to get Watson and Wentz.
They would get the king's ransom for him.
They can't
They
afford
three first at least.
They're gonna have to recoup the ones that Jeff ought to get. Like all them first round pick. That's crazy.
First
That's why
and a second.
I ain't gonna front. I kind of low key be rooting against them so you can get that. So you can get team
appreciate that, man.
team two up.
That's what they get for letting them.
Right.
That's what they get for letting Bill O'Brien be in control. Because now, listen, the Texans can have a top 5 pick, and it is not even theirs. It's the Dolphins. So the Dolphins keep retooling, and the Texans are just and Watson's like, what? What are you guys doing? Oh my god!
Because they're gonna mess around and get a top 10 pick, and they're gonna get somebody to help Tua for real. And that's gonna be a part of Bill Belton. It's gonna be a part of Bill O'Brien's resume too.
I'm excited.
How you feel about Tua, Jeff? How you feeling about him this week?
Yeah. I have no idea. I didn't like the idea of benching Fitzpatrick, but just because of the role they were on. But I'm all for Tua. Like I'm totally for it. If they were just coming off a loss, I would be like, yeah, no problem. It's just it was weird timing. But I know the bye coming up. I'm excited for the kid. You know, I root for all these guys that I enjoyed watching in college. But then I always worry about a guy when he comes out, and I'll say this about Burrow and Tua, when you got a guy like Mac Jones down in Alabama who is ahead of Burrow's pace right now. That worries me because then you start going, oh, is it a system thing? Is it a talent thing? Like it starts worrying you, you know, when you take these guys. And I think, you know, coach deals with
a lot of good talent at
coach deals with Haskins. Like, was that an Ohio State system thing?
It might have been, man. You know, it might have been.
Because when you watch Fields play, you're like, oh, that guy's great. That guy's great.
I have a hot take. I have a hot take with Justin Fields, but I'll talk about that
too,
later.
Yeah, we'll save that for
I'll save that
for my show.
Yeah, he's different. Yeah. So, fellas, let's go into game balls this week. So, who gets a game ball for Week 7 in the NFL season? Once again, I'll go around the horn. Jeff, who's your game ball this week?
Man, my main man, Kyler Murray. I love to give him this 427 total yards and 4 touchdowns against Russell Wilson at his joint. Spectacular game, never back down, when eyeball to eyeball. Just a wonderful game for him in his career and his whole team. But a team plays better. We just talked about it with New England. A team plays better when they believe in their quarterback and they believe in this guy, this young man, like nobody's business. You can just tell they're all in. They see him in practice every day. You know what I mean? I don't care what the perception of him is out there, just physical or whatever. His team obviously knows that they've got the right guy and they play like it.
They made the right decision. They definitely made the right decision.
Just love the guy. So Kyler Murray gets mine this week.
Yeah. Chris,
all right, so even though they lost, I'm going to give the game ball to Tyler Lockett.
Okay.
15 catches, 200 plus yards, 3 touchdowns. He's not the reason why they lost the game.
Heck no.
He was the reason why they should have won that football game.
Great player. He's a great player.
He lost in spite of Lockett.
Yeah. Like he was special yesterday. Like, and he's so like he doesn't get enough love because I don't know why. Maybe I don't know if it's a West Coast bias thing or you know. I just don't understand why doesn't he get more love? He's really he gets open. Like how many times have we seen a Tyler Lockett, Russell Wilson throw it deep and it's Tyler Lockett like and there's no one within 15 yards of him. We see that way too many times and it's like he needs more love. He's so good.
He can run every route.
Yeah,
he's just
he used to be just a deep player, right? Everyone just said Tyler Lockett just a guy who could just run a vertical threat, a vertical route, and now he's an all around receiver. He's so good. I know they lost, but I'm gonna give him the game ball. Excellent
guy to follow Doug Baldwin in Seattle. You know.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And he learned from Doug Baldwin. Doug Baldwin was another
You can
guy
tell
who-
too. You can tell.
Yeah. So Steven, your game ball this week.
I got two. One real quick to Zane Gonzalez. I was going to give it to him because the kicker for the Cardinals. As great as Murray was, the kicker won the game in overtime, and it's huge. And he's not really touted as one of the best kickers in the game. He, hitting a 48-yard to field goal to beat Seattle in the division game, huge.
Enormous.
Yeah,
he almost cost him the game. He missed
he
that
almost
field
cost
goal.
so he almost cost the game, right? So that's why I give him the game ball.
Isaiah Simmons, you saw that play?
Mm-hmm.
He literally shaking the blitz and drops back and just intercepts the ball. Like, he's going to be a good one too.
Yeah.
And then my last one is Justin Herbert for having a great game and getting me 38 points in fantasy this week. So game ball to Justin Herbert.
He's a good looking player, man. I've apologized to him every week. Coach knows I've publicly apologized to Justin Herbert for everything I said about him coming into last year's draft. He's awesome.
He just when he throws the ball, it's with ease. It's just he puts it in the right spot too. Like he has the same arm as Allen in Buffalo, but with just way more accuracy. Like he has beautiful touch on his throws, and he can throw it freaking 70 yards with no problem. So he's going to be a good one. Once he still makes bonehead plays. He still makes plays. You're like, all right, that's a rookie mistake, but he's going to be a good one for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, because I think we killed him. I know I killed him pre-draft as well, like for the mechanics. But I was like, that stuff can be cleaned up.
Yeah,
you're right, obviously. And also, my game ball also goes to Justin Herbert as well, man. I think what he did, and that was another game that I actually kind of watched coincidentally after the San Francisco New England game. And I was like, oh, Justin's looking good, man. It's like.
It was a battle of a game too for a long time. The score was more than the game was,
Yeah, fun game.
And then then he pulled it off. So definitely huge shout out to Justin Herbert. Once again, we're sorry, Justin Herbert. We're sorry.
That's my bad, Justin.
We're sorry.
That's on me, man.
I didn't say anything about you, Justin. You're on my fantasy team. You started this week, so
So, fellas, let's put up. This is end of Overreaction Monday. So before we head out, guys, plug your stuff. So I got Jeff. Talking about the power rankings.
Hey man, Jeff Needs Sports power rankings will be out, early Tuesday morning after the Monday Night Football game's over. They once again a bit of change this week, so I appreciate everybody's feedback. It's really been taken off in the last few weeks. So, and then my college football, my playoff rankings. Not my college football rankings, but I'm starting the playoff rankings already. The run for the playoff starts, and so that'll be coming out tomorrow too. So yeah, big day for Jeff Needs Sports and the Off the Ball Network. So go there and check it all out. Everybody's doing a ton of great work right now. So please go on and check it out and give us all a chance.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, Off the Ball podcast. You know where to find it. All podcast platforms. I just had the show today on Dash Radio on the Burnett channel. So week
great
2
show, by the way.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's super cool.
It's still weird, to tune in and then to get that lead in right into the 12 o'clock hour and listen to yourself on the radio. It's still pretty surreal. But that and I just had a show with Lee from Which Carolina talking draft and all that. So that that was the show that was on Dash Radio, but then I dropped the pod and the YouTube episode right after that. And then obviously Off the Ball Network, man. Go follow Off the Ball Network on Twitter, OTB_network, and go check out the website. I mean, guys are pumping out content like crazy. So, I, on top of being on the show right now, I'm editing stuff on the site. Getting shout out to Coach Fa. He just sent me a bunch of good stuff. Shout out to Kieran had posted the stuff. Just go check out there. The Instagram Off the Ball Network, Instagram Off the Ball Podcast. All that, everyone's killing it. So, let's keep doing it, man. Good show, great content. Everyone's killing it, man. That's all I can say, man. Everyone's doing their thing. So I'm excited about that.
Hey, Steven.
Oh, appreciate you letting me jump on last minute. And it was a fun time. Anytime I get to link up with you gentlemen is a good day for me. Just finished up a show today. The pod will drop tomorrow. Just talked a little bit of, cleaned up a little bit of some areas where I missed, where, Amari Stoudemire is brought into Brooklyn. Talked, Indiana, the Indiana Pacers and the New Orleans Pelicans, their new hirings, who we think is going to fill the voids in Houston and Oklahoma City, and then just some news on the NBA season, what we know so far coming into next year, or at least what's been proposed. That's all on Breaking the Game with Stephen Gillespie. It's a NBA centric podcast. You can find it anywhere podcasts are available. Austin and I have our NBA Way Too Early power rankings up on the site. We're working on a collaboration piece for our Way Too Early regular season awards, and it's going to be both of us on one article, basically kind of arguing with each other. So it's a fun project. We're looking forward to that. That should be released sometime this week, and then just looking forward to more of the See You Sunday, the show that we got coming out on Saturdays, where we preview the week ahead and give our predictions and have a really good time, preluding for Overreaction Monday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You guys are all doing. You guys are. This show's awesome, Coach. I'm so thankful every time I'm on it. It really does make my day, and it gets this out of my system. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing. Any Buckeyes fans out there, enjoy my new weekly Buckeye remix.
The remix,
and enjoy the Buckeye remix. It's a show I put out it'll be on the Off the Ball Network every week, and then it'll be on my podcast every week. So yeah, go check that out. It's a lot of fun too. Where it's all bias there. There's no
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's super fun. So I forgot about that. It's been a lot of fun. So
it's good. But listen, you guys know how I feel about Ohio State.
Yeah.
So I take that out, but it's a great show. It's a lot of fun. And shout out to Mo. Shout out to our guy Mo, VP.
The injury report.
He's on the IR right now, but he had an article about Ohio State.
Everybody, man. Cruz is doing good work. It's just everybody. I know there's so many guys now. We probably missed some.
The 2-minute drill probably going to be coming out soon, right? With Jelani, his NFL.
Yeah.
Where he talks about each team.
Jelani, I'm doing stuff right now for the site, and it's just like everyone keeps sending me emails, so it's just keep coming, guys.
You asked for it, so now you got it.
Oh yeah.
We're cooking something in the lab for you too. So
So we just added some guys to the network too. So shout out to the guys from the Hoopers Pod. They're on board. They're on the team now. So they'll be doing some stuff on the Off the Boat Network live. So they're excited to join the network. So good things happening, man. We got things cooking, man. And it's just getting started too. So I'm excited. So let's do this.
Yes, indeed, and definitely thanks everybody for checking us out on
Overreaction. Shout out to Edgar and Jerg too. I don't want to forget no one. I shout out to Edgar and Jerg. Edgar killing the social media. Shout out to all my guys.
Social media content.
All the social media.
The roof.
Yeah, Edgar's killing it.
He does a phenomenal job.
Yes,
good job,
yes,
brother.
Indeed. Yeah, so this has been this week's Overreaction Monday. And thank you, fellas, for stopping by this week. And we'll see you guys next week in November. So
much love, everybody.
Yes, indeed. All right.